Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to get this natural sun-kissed look. Alright, so as you guys can see, I already did my eyebrows. I do normally go out with my eyebrows not done, but for those of you who can never walk out of the house without your eyebrows done, just keep them, really light and natural looking. Don't go too dark because we all know our natural eyebrows are, not as dark as we usually draw them on. Alright, so we are covering those eye bags as we normally do in our regular full makeup routines. Alright, so now that I'm done using my Shape Tape, this is my favorite stuff for underneath my eyes, I am going to use my Flawless Satin Foundation from e.l.f. And that is in the shade Pearl, and that's for neutral undertone. Alright, so I am also baking the underneath of my eyes, and this is with my baking powder from Revolution. This is the luxury baking powder in Ghost. So now that I have this kind of going on, I'm actually going to go into the rest of my face, and I'm gonna set that and also brighten it back up a little with my MAC face powder. This is Light Plus. It's called Skin Finish. It's a natural looking face powder. It kind of brings me back to life in a way. I'm like really light as it is, so I can't really use bronzer per se. This has a darker shade than my setting powder, so I don't look white as a ghost. But it's also light enough to where I don't look ridiculous. Alright, so that is what I do as a base for my face. Alright, so next I'm going to contour with my NYX palette. This is the Highlight and Contour Pro palette. It comes with a bunch of different shades. Some are warm, some are cool. There's a yellowy one, there are highlights, and there's also a lighter shade that I actually use instead of baking powder to cut my contour when I'm going for a natural look and I don't want a super sharp cut like baking powder gives you. So this palette is definitely perfect for a natural look. Alright, so for the contour, you're going to start at the button of your ear and go out. Alright, so I also went ahead and did my nose, which, like I said, this is a quick tutorial, something where you're running out of the house. You don't have time to, pick out, your brushes and, do your normal routine. So literally, I take my contour brush, I squeeze it tight, and I literally just go down the bridge of my nose. I'm not trying to make, like, a super tiny nose, that's not my goal right now, for it to be perfect. Just enough, just a little, and I know this looks super dark right now, but I actually go a little bit overboard and then I end up buffing it out after. That's the way that I do my makeup. Not a lot of people do it that way, but I promise you, when I'm done, it's gonna look good. Alright, now that I look like a crazy person, I finished off with the contour, I put some there, I put some along up my jawline because, double chin problems. I'm going to start buffing it out. Like I said, it does, look a little crazy by my cheeks, but it is not going to look that way when I'm done. Alright, now that I have it all, buffed out, I don't really like that there's no end to this, but like I said, I don't want something super sharp, so I just put the light shade in that NYX contour palette. I'm going to use that, like I said before. I just kind of go under, and it's not really creating like a solid line, but when you go a little bit overboard, like down a little too far, you could easily correct that with this powder without creating like a super sharp line. Now that cheekbone looks a little bit higher, and just buff out the very top so you don't have a sharp line up there either. Alright, so number one secret to making this look super natural, like you're sun-kissed: blush. I use the Buxom. This is in shade Havana. This is my favorite. And so the secret to looking sun-kissed and not just like you have blush on is to also go over your nose. Blush is really just made for you to fill in where you would naturally be flushed, like, you know, or sun-kissed. So literally fill in where you would normally get burnt, which is right across your face, a little bit on your forehead. You're gonna go a little bit above where you contoured. And you're just gonna keep going in. And then on top of your nose, and I know I contoured my nose, you're still gonna see that, just not as much as you normally would with your, you know, normal look, because you want it to look super natural and super flushed. So right now, obviously you could see a line that won't be there when I'm done. Go to this side. And like I said, you're sun-kissed, you're sunburnt. This is where it would show up. Tip of your nose, high in your cheeks. You can go a little crazy with it. We're gonna buff it out so it's not gonna look this crazy. But as you can see, put a little bit on my chin so I can show you guys what I mean. You're starting to look very sunburnt, like a lobster. So this is what I actually would normally look like in the sun, to be honest with you, but I am going to show you how to tone it down a bit. So you're just gonna take this brush, same one I was using before. Anything, you know, big like this will work. And you're gonna like, almost like pat and rub at the same time. Like stippling. And now we look sun-kissed. Alright, so you can leave it here, or you can add some highlight. I personally always had highlight no matter what, because I love highlight. It's an addiction, honestly. So I use the NYX Born to Glow palette. It has a bunch of different shades for you. No matter what color you are, it really does work. Personally, I honestly usually use that because I'm light, but being that I am sun-kissed, I can do something like that because I have blush on, so it would look fine. So I think I will use a little of that. I use the same brush that I put on my blush with, but I'm also going to go over it with the top two. I mixed them. So I wanted it to show up a little more. That dark pink doesn't show up as much as I would like it to, but it still has that nice color. Now that we're done with all of that, I am going to put on fake freckles. I'm a redhead, so I naturally have freckles in the sunlight, so it makes sense for me. If you don't like them, or you just don't think it makes sense for you and your skin, you don't have to do it, you can just move on. So basically, they just look like, you know, real freckles. When you do it with a very light eyebrow pencil. So this is actually the MAC pencil I use for my eyebrows, and this is, sorry if I don't pronounce this right, lingering? I'm gonna say it's lingering. If it's not, I'm sorry. So that is the one I use. That's the shade I use. It is perfect for if you're a light brown, or if you have, you know, brown with red undertones. This works. It's not actually red. It is a brown, but because my hair is such a dark red, it works. So I also create my fake freckles with it. Alright, so this is what the fake freckles look like, super light. I see a lot of people do them really dark. The darker you do them, the faker they look. So I would highly recommend doing them fairly lightly. As you can see, even close up, they're not dark, they're super light, and they're kind of in the T-zone and, you know, just clusters of them. So that is how I make my fake freckles, and I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna use a natural lip. So I usually go in after my chapstick with this, and I use one of the brown neutral tones. See, it's nothing too crazy. Put a little bit of the pinky tones on top. These are so creamy. It's awesome. I highly recommend if you need something neutral, go with this palette. It's great. I love the MAC lip palettes. These are 6 Necessary Nudes, the Pro Lip Palette, and then I also have these ones. So these are the 6 Preferred Pinks. They're great. I highly, highly recommend them. And then last but not least, I just need a little bit of mascara. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I used for my mascara Lashtopia by Bare Minerals, and I also, on top of the MAC, I put on some buxom, and that is for the plumping effect. It's the plumping lip polish in White Russian, and then my lip topper from Revolution, and this is in Luxurious. So here we are. It looks very natural, glowy, and sun-kissed. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you watched all the way through and you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I do have 2 other social media platforms. I have TikTok, and that's Artistry by Tay with 2 Ys. And I also have Instagram, which is Artistry by Tay with 1 Y. If you guys want to see more, you can follow me on there, or you can subscribe and see more on here. I hope to see you next time.